Yo,
Yes, bro. What's good, man? How's it going?
look at you with your fancy mic. What's going on?
Bro, I feel like Tory Lane's doing quarantine radio right now.
This guy just brought up the fancy mic out of nowhere.
How's lockdown been treating you?
It's been great, to be honest.
Yeah?
I'm not even gonna lie, I've been loving it. I'm not even looking forward to go back to normal life. To be fair, you don't have to see no one. You don't have to go nowhere. I'm pretty much I'm a bit introverted sometimes, so yeah, just having the space, especially creative space as well, to just get on with stuff, just do it. It's been great. But obviously socially it's been a bit whack. But yeah, I could easily do another good three more months of this. Very easily. No junk food, you know what I mean? It's just
What?
yeah, it's just I don't know, I just felt like this has been the most time I've ever been focused in a while. Even with exercise, you're speaking to people more on the phone, you're FaceTiming, you're communicating more. You know what I mean? So yeah, for me it's been great, but I know it's not for everyone.
So you got a home studio, or have you been just
yeah. So now I've got a home studio. I've been fortunate enough to have a setup. So what happened is I used to go studio, but I would spend like hours in the studio, bro. Like because you go in there, you listen to the beat, you're writing, you're jamming, you're chatting, and then before you know it, you spent like 6-7 hours and you haven't even got an output. You might just have like an idea for a song, and then you get the bill at the end of it. So for me, it was kind of like I needed to stop doing that. So what I set up a home studio, but not necessarily to record music, but I set it up to record ideas.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would write, record the ideas, have a muck about with delivery, tone, etc. Then I would go to the studio and just book my 2 hours in, record, and then out. So for me, it was a money-saving opportunity more than anything. And that was probably about a year ago. So I already had the equipment. So come lockdown now, where studios are closed, yeah, I just started recording. I took the recording seriously. So I was recording at home. I would email the file to my engineer. He would, email the Logic file to my engineer. He would get it on his end, make some tweaks, email it back, and then, yeah, we're good to go. So yeah, again, I've been fortunate enough to have the home studio set up.
Yeah, no, nice, man. And like you said, it's always nice to just kind of have it there so that whenever you get that spark of an idea, you can just jot it down or just like quickly record it. Yeah,
100%. Anytime.
Just see, does it work on the beat? Does it not work? Or just see what happens.
I think for the last year, pretty much all my songs have been home recorded. As long as you've got a good mic and a good mixing engineer.
Yeah.
I think those are probably the two bits of advice I would say to anyone that's trying to set up a home studio.
Obviously, you've been recording during lockdown, and you released a new single a few weeks ago, Mr. with Rish Rai. Was that something you recorded during lockdown as well, or was that something that happened before?
No, that happened before lockdown. I recorded that song. I recorded Mr. probably around September times, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I hold on to my songs because I like to wait for timing. So I record. It was recorded by a gentleman called J Productions. Shout out to J Productions. He, we came across each other on Instagram, and like with most producers, they want to collaborate work. So I said to him what I say to everyone: send me a selection of beats, not necessarily any specific sound, just do you, because I'm trying to be flexible, trying to be open to different sound, trying to push myself. So he sent me like 18 beats. And
wow.
Yeah, I'll never forget this. So I had to sit down and go through 80 beats, and there was a lot of fire in there, but I found this one, which was the Mr. beat. I recorded to it, but as you can see from the rhyme pattern, I'm saying Mr. a lot. And I kind of like that repetitive rhyme pattern. And I was thinking to myself, I want to do a chorus for it, but then I don't want the chorus to have Mr. in it, because then it's going to get too in your face. So I remember saying to Jay, this is just going to be a little interlude for my upcoming EP. I'm not really going to release it. And he was cool with that. You know what I mean? He was happy with how the track sounded with the 2 verses. But then I just come off working with Rish Rai, because me and Rish, we work quite closely. He was actually on one of my singles with Lady Leisha.
Yeah.
And so we was talking, and we was going through some kind of chorus ideas for Mr. And then he just came up with that. at my house, and literally was in the studio, and I was just like, "Yo, pen it," and he literally penned it, recorded it, and then we had the chorus. So that was probably done by about January. So I sat on it for a while, and then I decided to let it go probably around 8.
I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if you saw what Russ tweeted the other day, where it was like, you never know, you might have that big banger just sat on your computer, but you're just too scared to release it. I mean, obviously, everybody has controversials about what Russ 100%. Says sometimes, but
I follow Russ heavy, big fan of Russ, and there's this one song that I have been sitting on. I literally put out an Instagram post. This was probably a good few months ago, and it had 3 songs on there. It had Mister, a song called Wanna Go, and a song called Address That, and there were 20-second snippets of each. And I said to everyone, "Oh, which one should I put out next?" And everyone said a track called Address That, by a mile, by a landslide. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, that's the best one. So what I'm gonna do is instead of releasing it, I'm now gonna hold it, because it's almost like it's like subconsciously you say to yourself, "Oh, it's the best one," so you don't want to let it go. So you end up holding it, waiting for this mystical moment, or I don't know what you're waiting for, but so I ended up holding on to it. And then I think I was doing a Zoom session with the producer, and I was playing some tracks, and I played that to him, and he was just like, "Why have you not released this song?" So and I couldn't give him a serious answer. It's like, I'm holding on to it for what?
And is that all building up to something bigger at the end of this year? Can we expect an EP?
And you know what? I'm a bit funny with EPs. I was gonna do an EP, and I decided against it. Funny enough, off a talk that I watched, which Russ was on the panel on, actually.
Yeah.
And someone in the audience asked, this was like 6 months. This was like last summer. Should you release the EP, or should an emerging artist release singles? And Russ's advice was this, rightly or wrongly: as a new artist, no one is going to listen to more than 2 songs. You'll be lucky if you get someone listening to more than 2 songs, all right? As a new artist, you want to be focused on releasing singles, because singles, as he said, single-handedly promote yourself. So you might release a song which has got 5 tracks, and they might all be 5 fire tracks, but they'll get listened to the first, they'll listen to the second. If they don't like that second track, they're not going to go to 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah.
And then those 3 tracks are going to be sitting in your EP for a year, and now they're dated. Whereas if you release those individual tracks, at least you've got everyone's ears every time. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So I kind of went with that mentality, because I believe in the songs that I have, and I do believe they're fire, but I do believe some of them might not be for everyone. So there is a risk of releasing, an EP of 4 tracks, and they don't get to track 3 or track 4 because track 2 might have fallen them off, or they might have fallen off from the intro. So that's kind of my stance on the EPs at the moment, because I'm still in a position where I'm still accumulating new fans.
Yeah.
Once I've got to a position where I've got a core fan base in which I would like to satisfy, the EP is for them. At the moment, my singles that I'm releasing now are almost like, when an artist release an album, they'll release a single first to promote the rest of the album.
Yeah.
So my singles that I release now are to promote my portfolio, because there's a lot of songs that before Mister you may have not even heard, but they're still brand new to you. There's people listening to my songs that I released a year ago that are tweeting me and sending me DMs saying this song's fire, and I released that song in November 2018. So my singles, to reiterate, kind of really just promote my portfolio of work, and that's kind of what I'm focused on at the moment. EPs, not for now.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And, I definitely get what you're saying, because obviously, like you said, you've released Mist, and that's bringing you more new fans, and then kind of looking at your back catalogue, and they might not even know that obviously you've done a tune with Lady Leisha.
Exactly, yes.
So
exactly.
kind of bring them into a new frontier, being like, oh, who's this guy? Like, he's done a tune with Lady Leisha. Like, that's sort of like a co-sign. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which was, so that was a great experience. But man, EPs in the future, definitely, but not for now.
Yeah. Speaking of that tune, how did that come about? You linking up with Lady Leisha? Was that something organic, or was that a friend of a friend kind of?
No, it wasn't. No, it was purely me having this track, which was centered around a relationship, and I believe I was quite harsh in the two verses, and I really wanted a female's perspective. So, mate, I reached out to everyone I reached out to literally every female rapper you could think of in the UK. I reached out to them.
Yeah.
And understandably, I didn't really get much airtime. As emerging artists, new artists, you know what I mean? They don't, everyone's got their own journey, so I didn't get anything. So something said to me, reach out to Leisha, probably one of the biggest in the UK, expecting her to not reply, to be honest. But I just said, why not? So I sent her an email, sent her the track. I was just like, yo, what do you think of this? Trying to get a female perspective. She said she loved it. You know what I mean? And yeah, she jumped on it, which was great. It was an amazing co-sign. And
yeah.
I mean, she didn't have to, so, but she did. She was willing to do it. So, you know what I mean? We sorted out the paperwork, and yeah, that was that. But that was done last year, March. She done her verse. But I knew I really wanted a sick video to go along with it. You got someone like Leisha, you want the visuals to complement the song, right? So I waited for a bit, got someone who was an amazing director. Shouts to Ashley Jade. She, I had a vision. She executed that vision amazingly. She gave me an amazing product. Leisha turned up to the video as well, engaged in the idea, in the storyline, and we shot an amazing visual, and that would forever go down in history for me because it's contributed to my portfolio. It may not have done amazing streams, it may not have done, a million views on YouTube, but for me, it's strengthened my CV. And that's kind of what's important to me, because it's, as you said, people going back and looking at your back catalogue and looking at what you've done, it's almost like they garner an interest because they can see that you've taken something really, really seriously. And obviously got the cosign as well.
Yeah.
So so that's essentially how it came out. So I would say to anyone, just don't feel as though you're too fresh to reach out to established artists. Don't feel like you're too inexperienced. If you've got a good song and they've got time and they like it, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, no, definitely, man.
That's what I learned. That's what I learned from that.
No, that's cool. And I guess that gave you kind of an experience of working with other artists who are either under management agreement or label agreement, having to work with like paperwork and all that kind of stuff, like giving you an insight into as you grow in the music industry, this is how things are done in order to make sure everything's kind of kosher. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, it was a great learning experience. I mean, yeah, just to echo what you said, yeah, I had never experienced that level before of interaction. So, no, 100%. I can only agree with that. Yeah. It was great exposure, great learning experience.
Yeah, and then again, looking back into your back catalogue, you got a track that which definitely caught me. Cool, 2 Degrees, talking about.
And that's the song I was talking about when I said November 2018.
Yeah.
That was when I dropped that song, and that's the song that still gets, like, literally, I get messages every other day about that song.
Yeah.
Literally.
Let's delve into that song a little bit deeper, because obviously you touch on a lot of things about that, and obviously the title.
Yeah.
So let's get straight to the point and address the elephant in the room. What's your degree in then?
Yeah, so forensic. Yeah. So 2 degrees is the first degrees in forensic science.
Yeah.
So I did a forensic science undergrad, and then I did a business management postgrad.
Nice.
So so my first, as I'll finish in kind of college and stuff, going to uni, I wanted to be a doctor. It didn't quite work out, so I did forensic science as a science lover. But then, very early into my forensic science career, I realized that I wanted to get into business, more specifically project management. So I kind of dropped the science, dropped the forensics, and I went into project management. And then to complement that with some education, I did the business management masters.
Nice,
and that was me, and that was pretty much my career up until I kind of took the music path pretty seriously, to be fair.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the premise of the song. The premise of the song was, it's kind of like a triple entendre, as they say. It was the 2 degrees, meaning I have physically got 2 degrees. It was also, what I was trying to say, based from the artwork, was I've also got a degree in music. As you can see on the artwork, I was carrying a microphone. So I was trying to also say that at this point in time, I've studied the game. I've now graduated. Now I'm out here trying to get work. So that was kind of the premise behind the title. 2 degrees. And sorry, the third meaning was, I was basically saying that my raps are cold. So degrees is in temperature. So
nice,
that's basically the third one. But one of my favorites. One of my favorite songs. Follow your passion, and follow your calling. It was never. I never planned to do this. I was always trying to do music, but growing up, there was. I almost feel as though at the time when you realised you could do music as a UK MC, it was almost too late for me, in the sense that I was knee deep in education. So I wasn't gonna quit education to follow this music path, because at that time we didn't really know if it was going to be successful, right? It's only a few years later that we've seen the success stories, and then we realize, oh wow, hold on a minute, there's opportunity in this music business for UK rappers. So then, because I had the choice, music or education, I chose education. Whereas some may not have had the educational choice; they only had music, so they, that was their only path. Whereas I had a number of different paths. So I chose the safest at the time. And then when I realized, I've kind of achieved what I wanted to achieve in the corporate space. Now I want to, explore music, and here I am with regards to that.
I mean, that's not the worst thing of it, to kind of say, you chose the educational path, because obviously at the time it was a safer option and nobody really knew where the UK music scene was going at the time.
Exactly.
But even when you look at other artists, there are other artists who did the same thing. Krept, he went to uni, he got a degree in accounting. What kind of inspired you to start music then? Because I
was always doing music. I was always performing when I was younger. Music's just always been a part of me, been a part of my life. But as I said, it was frowned upon to almost do it as a career. In my culture, they're very big on education, they're very big on school, etc. So for me to wake up and say, I'm gonna follow music, it was like there was no one that I could really say I was looking up to. I want to be like that person. So it would have been hard to even justify. And like I said, I had a choice, and the only choice then was following education. So I'd done that. So the turning point for me was, I done a freestyle a few years ago. Krept and Conan released a song called Whoa Whoa Whoa. So they released that, and they did what they called a Whoa 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 challenge. So I did my own version of the Whoa 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 challenge, and I sent it to Krept actually, because I actually know him, and he said it was really good. Excuse me. So then after that, I posted it on the Instagram, and everyone was like, who wrote these bars? Who wrote these lyrics? Because no one's known me to make music. So they were kind of shocked at how good it was. So then I thought, okay, maybe I could do this rapping thing. So then I would go to the studio on the sly, make music, just try it. But then the thing that changed it for me is, I made a song, didn't tell no one I made a song. I was driving in my car, and my cousin got in my car unexpectedly, and the song came on that I made, right? But he didn't know it was me. But what he was trying to do, he was trying to Shazam the song. Right? So he was like, yo, who is this? This is sick. I'm trying to Shazam it. It's not coming up on Shazam. And I was just like, it's me. And he was like, no way, blown away. But what that showed me is it was genuine. It was a genuine love for the music. He genuinely liked it. It wasn't like, family, friends, yo, that's good, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like, no, I don't know who this guy is, but he's sick. I want this on my playlist. Yeah. And that gave me the confidence that at least there was one person out there that likes my music. So, and then that was it. And then the rest was history. Then I just started making more songs, more music. He introduced me, funny enough, to who's a very good friend of mine and also my close producer, Key 7 Music. Who actually produced 2 Degrees, which was and the song with Lady Leisha as well. He introduced me to him, and then that's how me and him have got a kind of great music relationship.
I feel like with your lyricism, it's very like straight up. There's no fluff around it. There's no beating around the bush. Like I said, you might have a little bit of wordplay, but it's really straight up.
Yeah.
Like what the subject matter is the subject matter.
Yeah.
It's none of this like trying to talk about ice or trying to talk about like girl.
Yeah. I mean that is true, but at the same time, I mean, let's take Mister for example, right? You know, rap's a braggy sport. So the first verse is very, you know, Mr. All Black, Mr. Gucci leather rucksack. You know, it's very, you know, I'm full of myself, kind of a slight bit of arrogance. But then the second verse, on the other hand, is very, you know, Mr. Educated. Mr. Don't really care who you're rating because I'm Mr. Self-Motivated.
Yeah.
Mr. Head Inflated. I always back up my talk, so just call me Mr. Demonstrate It. So it's very, you know what I mean? I like to give both sides in my music where I can. So, and that's kind of what I'm about.
And then obviously you don't just do music. You've also got a clothing line as well. You've also got like your own merch as well. Like how did that come about? Was that something you just kind of wanted to go hand in hand with the music?
No, it was, when I would do like kind of radio interviews like this to like my local radio stations and stuff, I wanted to go in wearing merchandise like I'm wearing now, right?
Yeah.
And so I, you know, got some jumpers, put my logo on it, and then so I had quite a few. I had quite a few jumpers. It was because they were all different colors and stuff. And then I had a barbecue one year because my birthday's in June, and it's normally quite hot. Had a barbecue in year, but that particular year it was cold. So what happened was people were like wanted jumpers and stuff to wear because it got a bit chilly. So I ended up giving out these jumpers that I had, right? And you know, people, as they do at parties, they're on Snapchat, you know, Instagram stories, whatever, and then people would see in the background that everyone's wearing this jumper. So it's like, yo, like, is that your merch? What's going on? How comes everyone's got one, sort of thing? And I just ran with it, man. I was just like, yep, it's my merch. You know, started printing off a few, and then started selling them, to be fair. And it's good quality. I've echoed this before, but you know, I don't really compromise quality for price. So it's done really well because most merchandise you see, even from massive artists, you go to their concerts and you go and get their merchandise, they're poor quality because you bulk buy and they're almost like memorabilia, right?
Yeah.
Whereas my merch wasn't designed for memorabilia. My merch was designed, it's a hoodie, I want you to wear it. So I need you to wear it as much as possible because by you wearing it, you're promoting me, you're promoting my brand. So in order to get you to wear it, significantly, I need it to be of a good quality, of a high quality. So I didn't focus on profit. I focused on getting good quality hoodies, selling them at a price that I know people will be able to afford without putting too much markup on it. I mean, by the time I've printed, post packaging, I'm probably breaking even realistically, but it's giving you something that you're going to wear, you're going to post, you're going to feel proud to post, you're going to feel proud to recommend. And yeah, it gets extra marketing for me because if you don't like my song, you're gonna post my jumper, right?
Yeah.
You know, at the very, very minimal. So yeah, and that's when I've done a couple pop-up shops. I think I've done 3 now. They've all been great. And yeah, I think it's just a simple, clean design, good quality. And yeah, that's essentially popped off. And yeah, it's going well.
Yeah, because even when you look at the design, it's not like you said, it's not meant to be a memorabilia. It looks like something you'd wear on a regular basis. Like it just looks like an item of clothing that just happens to be branded. Right. And if we want to remind people where we can get a jumper from, where can we pick one up? Yeah, so
OFFCOURSE.com/merch, or you can find it at Only Of Course. So that's Of Course with 2 F's. That's the Instagram handle. Yeah, all there, a plethora of colors. Go grab that.
I guess we kind of like touched upon it briefly when we were talking about 2 degrees of like, if you weren't doing music, what would you be doing? Do you think you would have stayed in the corporate world, or you think you would have kind of moved
Yeah,
into different?
100%. I mean, I've still got my hand in the corporate world as a self-employed individual. So I've got my own company, and I still operate it part-time, just doing a bits of consultancy here and there. So, you know, we've all got to kind of pay for this stuff, right? So that kind of, you know what I mean, funds that. So if I weren't doing music, I would probably be doing that. Or I'll probably try and find myself basically try and achieve an exec role within the music industry, looking at like the Austin Darbos, who I study quite heavily, to be honest, in this game, who's, you know, now the exec VP of Atlantic Records, coming from BBC to Spotify to Apple to now, you know, he's in the record label. So just hearing his stories, hearing some of his talks, etc., it's very inspirational. And if I wasn't doing music, I would definitely be trying to aspire to be within the music business somehow, even if not as an artist, because I just love music, to be honest, and I love the business of it.
Briefly touched on something where I feel like for some artists, they kind of feel a bit taboo about it, talking about how they're kind of funding their music,
Sure, yeah.
their music careers, saying like, oh, you know, I've got a job, because obviously you got to pay for all this kind of stuff, which is great to kind of just say openly, like, look, obviously I'm trying to pursue this music career, but I'm not afraid to say I've got another job that's helping to fund me to do this.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get that. I don't really know why there's that taboo. I think there's this belief that if people don't think you're putting your all into this, i.e., if my music doesn't sell, I'm gonna drastic but like die. Yeah, it's like people feel as though they need to show that it's do or die for this music. So if I can put out that energy, people are going to be more inclined to buy into me if they believe that this is all I'm doing. Some might say that if you think I've got a job on the side, then I'm not taking the music serious, right? So if I'm not taking the music serious, there's no real need to support me, because you know there's that word support, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a supporter of your music. So by saying that, it's almost like I need you to in order to succeed. But if people that you're pleading for support don't believe that they're needed, they won't support you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've kind of gone around it a long way, but that's probably the reason why people like to keep that to themselves. They like to think, yo, I'm out here just trying to make it, you know what I mean, support me, you know, buy my songs, you know, that kind of thing. I think that's where it comes from. But I mean, for me, it's important for me to not really give that message, because one, I put quality into my music, which obviously costs a lot. So I don't want no preconceptions about how or where I'm getting my money from. Yeah. So I'm painting a positive picture in my music and success and obtaining success. And all I'm doing by my output is showing that I'm using my success in the corporate world to almost fund my passion, which should really be anyone's goal, really. No one really wants to work forever and then call it quits. You want to use what you've worked for, put in something you're proud about, whether it's building a house, whether it's, you know what I mean, building a charity, building, you know, anything you want to do. And I chose music. So, you know what I mean, it's important for me to get that message across. So I don't feel no taboo by saying that, yeah, I still work alongside doing music. People don't understand the music business is very expensive if you want to do it properly. You know, just for example, putting a song out, yeah, it's easy to put songs out, but to market that song is not easy. And to market that song, it can get expensive. Just like, you know, you've got radio pluggers, you know, Instagram promo, you know, doing artwork, doing music videos, studio time, mixing and mastering to a good standard. You know, all of these things, they're not cheap. they all cost money, and you kind of got to care, and you kind of got to be willing, you know, to almost invest in yourself. That's one of the things that Austin always promotes whenever he speaks. You know, you've got to bet on yourself. You've got to be willing to put your money where your mouth is. If you believe in your product, you need to put money into your product, and it's not cheap. So, you know, I mean, I commend anyone that is able to do it, you know, without holding a job, and just, you know, doing it on the grind, whether it be via, you know, selling their merchandise or using the income that they make from their streams to pump into their music. But aside from that, people like myself, you know, who's still on the come up, yeah, we got to make that bread and use that bread to pump into it.
Definitely, man. Definitely. If you could have your dream collaboration, who would it be with?
Someone asked me this, and I'm gonna say Drake.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm gonna say Drake is because he's probably one of the, if not the biggest artist in the world.
Yeah.
I used to think that having a collaboration with a big artist will catapult you to stardom. So I used to think, and a lot of emerging artists think this, if I just get this person on the track, I'm gonna blow. Yeah, doesn't work like that. That's a myth. Because at the end of the day, their fans are not necessarily your fans. So I might do a song with, I don't know, Heady One, for example, massive artist. He might jump on a track with me. Yeah, it might get listens, but you listening to my track is great, but have I converted those listeners to fans? That's what's important. It's all good getting the streams, but how many of those converted those to fans? So when you put out another song, they're going to be interested in you. Heady One's fans are not necessarily my fans, and that's no disrespect to Heady One. We just got different content. So I used to think about collaborations and wanting to work with so many different people and because it would help, you know what I mean, bring me up, but I don't think it would, unless it's one of the biggest in the world. Then of course you're going to get some traction, right? So for that purpose, there isn't really no one that I would really want to work with, other than, yeah, that would call a dream collaboration. Sorry, just to clarify. I mean, I would work with anyone, you know, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't be dreaming about it. I wouldn't be dreaming about it. It would just be nice. It would be good for the portfolio. It would be good for the catalog. I like their music. I respect their music. So yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to do something with Wizkid. I love Wizkid's music. I would be nice to do something with, say, the Krept and Conan, because, you know what I mean, I lyrically rate them highly. Yeah, it'd be nice to do music with so many artists in the UK. But yeah, purely just for the love of music, not for selfish reasons. So
when can we expect the next single from you then?
Yeah, this summer there'll be definitely more tracks, probably beginning of July. Literally, I've got 3 tracks that are literally ready to go. So yeah, we'll see, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely looking forward to hearing more from you, man. You know, it's been a really great chat with you. Touched on a lot of things, and obviously you can tell that you're quite passionate about the music business. Obviously your music career itself, and you've got a lot of different perspectives of how you're going about it, and it's very unique to yourself as an artist. Because like I said, obviously for you, it's not just about music from day one. It's about, you know, you say you're kind of, you know, you had a choice between the educational route and the music career route, and you chose the educational route, but it's not like you've kind of left that education behind. You've weaved it into how you're going about the music business. Absolutely. And just using it to get where you need to, which is great to hear. And I think, you know, 100%. really good inspiration for a lot of up and coming artists to kind of say, you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to this music career. You can still educate yourself and then go out there and say, right, now I'm going to do music and use all this information I now have. Because, you know, like they say, knowledge is power.
100%. Yeah, and I appreciate you picking that up. I appreciate the conversation. We're checking my music out, for, you know, for fostering an interest in me as an emerging artist. It means a lot, man.